about how you can do a garden right now during this season. There's a lot of seeds you can plant right now for an early spring garden depending on where you live. But first you have to have really good dirt. Our soil here is not good. So I get this, it's called black gold, and I just work it in to my soil. And you just kind of work it in with one of these little garden rakes, and that way it gets incorporated in. Has a lot of mushroom compost in it, and it adds a lot of nutrients to the soil. Just a few days ago I planted these reddish seeds. I did these on Saturday, and you can see how many of these are already coming up. So just in 6 days, I've got these little, 5 days, I've got these little reddish seeds coming up. They're gonna be ready to harvest in 21 days total on radish. So right now the other seeds I have going are my spinach seeds, and they're actually just starting to pop up. They were also planted, actually they were on Friday. I plant by the almanac. I know that sounds crazy, but it makes a difference because of the gravitational pull and how that affects the root crops versus the leafy crops. So you want to plant by the almanac and look at those best plant by dates. Right now you can put lettuce and spinach in the ground. Radishes can go in the ground right now. Peas can go in the ground. If you're in zone 7, this is all for zone 7. So you have to see what zone you're in. If you look down at some of these other things, I've already got like cauliflowers going. That was a winter garden crop. Green onions from last fall, and they're going really well. Over here, there's kohlrabi. There's some collards. There's strawberries that are already in the ground and doing well. Those are 3rd-year strawberries, so I'll have to divide these out. They already have little blooms on them. Anytime you see one of those blooms, there's going to be a little strawberry that pops up there. So that's a great crop to have for kids. Like I said, more green onions. These are white green onions. The others were yellow. Celery, kale, Brussels sprouts, and then beets can be planted right now. And I just planted more peas because the deer had robbed my garden. If you're wondering what this is a great way to keep the deer out. It's just bird netting, and I just have bamboo poles and bird netting, and the deer don't know what to do with it. So they haven't figured out they could just jump over it, and I'm thankful they haven't figured that out because it keeps them out of my garden. My garden's not perfectly manicured, but over here we've got some of the herbs growing. We have some Roman chamomile. There's Swiss chard. Some of those are left over from being planted last fall. This is called Mary's bedstraw. It's an herb. Horehound, a big clump of rosemary, pineapple sage, which is just starting to come back up. Obviously lots of clover, which if you leave clover in the ground and just kind of till it in, it adds a lot of nutrients to the soil. Lettuce, this was planted this last fall. But this lettuce is already ready to be harvested, and you can plant lettuce now. It won't take very long with the warmer temperatures for that to pop up. Here's a lot of my asparagus. They're coming up. The thing you need to remember about asparagus is the first year that you plant it, you don't harvest it at all. And then the second year, you just lightly harvest it. And the 3rd year is when you really want to harvest your asparagus. So you can see, you know, these are those asparagus fronds coming up. And there's my asparagus bed. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but it's a great way. So at any rate, call me if you have any questions about gardening. It's a ton of fun. Amend your soil. This is Gardening 101, video 2. I wanted to talk about a few more things that I didn't discuss in the first video. One is the importance of having good quality seeds. I use non-genetically modified seeds. I try to find heirloom seeds. They are easy to save seeds at the end of each season. When you have those heirloom seeds, you don't have to buy seeds every year. You just save some of the seeds from each of the vegetables that you harvest from the garden, preferably some of the first fruits that have the strongest seeds. And then also now is a good time to plant potatoes too. This is my potato bed right there. And you just take little mounds and just put little mounds up there and mound in your potatoes. Also, when you plant lettuce, these are just these little lettuce seedlings coming up. You literally pretty much just drop the lettuce seeds on top of the soil and just basically pat them in just a little bit. And that's all you have to do for your lettuce, and it'll come up really fast this time of year. Again, if you have any gardening questions, just let me know. I teach classes on gardening, but I'm doing a lot of free stuff on Facebook right now with everyone having to stay in. And gardening is something you can do as a whole family. Do it right in your backyard, in your windowsill, in an apartment, on a balcony. You can grow all sorts of things just right literally in your own backyard. Have a great day.